Here I sit in front of a camera talking about pageants. So the purpose of this video was for me to talk about Miss Universe 2017 when Demi Lee Peters won, and that's just over 3 years ago now. It happened on November the 26th, 2017. And so I was going to talk about that, and then it kind of got me thinking about like how much I actually cared about pageants just 3 years ago, and that I was in Vegas because Siera got married on that day in Vegas, and not like I really had an opportunity to go to that competition, but even if I did have the option, I'd be like pretty impartial and like not really care about going because I wasn't super invested. So it just kind of took me down memory lane, got me thinking about sort of my experience with pageants and like really what brought me to where I'm sitting right now. So I guess it all started back in 2009 when Siera competed at Miss Teen Saskatchewan and did well, went on to win that competition. I was in the audience in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I think I was like 14 at the time, and I don't know, I'm sure I can find a picture of me at that pageant because I'm 14, but I look like I'm 8 years old. And so she did well there and went on to win that competition, and again, like I was happy for her and like excited that she won, but didn't really give about being there. I don't think, like I didn't really care about pageants obviously. And then later on, I think in the summer, it was probably like July or something, she competed at Miss Teen Canada representing Saskatchewan and went on to win that competition. And again, I was there in Toronto watching that competition and, you know, being a good supportive brother. But I mean, if she wasn't competing in that competition, I wouldn't have cared to be there, but I was there. And my first two pageants that I watched, and didn't really get sucked in a whole lot into that. I obviously had like a lot of other things going on at the time, you know, being a 14-year-old and stuff like that. And then in 2013, Siera competed at Miss Universe Canada, and I didn't go to that competition, but I watched it. I watched the live stream, and again, she did well. I think she finished like first runner up and wouldn't have watched that competition if Siera wasn't competing. And then kind of like where it started to change for me is in 2016 when Siera competed at Miss Universe Canada again, and she won that competition, and I was there kind of by fluke almost. Like I moved out to East Coast Canada, Prince Edward Island, and things didn't really work out there for me. It's kind of a long story to go into, but things kind of fell through for me, and I was gonna head back west, go back home, and then Siera was competing at a pageant in Toronto, so I ended up surprising her and sort of surprised my mom too, like because it was super spontaneous in a way. Like it wasn't planned at all for me to go and do that. I ended up going and watching that competition, and I'll put a video in here when Siera won because you can hear me yell. That's kind of when I started caring. I was like super excited for her obviously, but then I kind of enjoyed the show really and got like pretty invested into that and legitimately enjoyed myself and kind of got to know a few more of the girls and went to this like after party thing at this like nightclub in Toronto and like had a very good time. And then that was kind of it for a little while until I guess Siera competed at Miss Universe in 2016 in the Philippines, and unfortunately I wasn't able to go, but I watched everything that I could. I mean, I stayed up with the time change. It was like super late, say like 2 in the morning or something, watching the prelims, and then went to Moose Jaw and watched the final show like in my grandma's basement, like with my dad and mom, and my buddy came in, which was like super nice of him. In the top 9, yeah! Yeah, so I started to care, I guess, more and more. If we're going in chronological order, next up would have been in 2017 when Demi Lee won Miss Universe. And I think at that point, like, even then, like, I cared obviously more than I did in 2009, but even if I like had the option to go to that competition, like impartial and not really cared a whole lot, and that's kind of why I'm sitting here is because of that competition, because it's why I was gonna talk about that competition and recap it, because at the time I didn't really care enough to go. I don't know. And but then moving past that, it was like the next year when Catriona won. I was like just so kind of invested in that, because like having conversations like kind of who we thought was gonna win that competition and stuff like that. And then seeing Catriona win was awesome, because she's the girl that I wanted to win. And then it kind of takes me to say like fall of 2019. Sorry, this is kind of all over the place, but I'm trying to keep it sort of in order of going through the years. And that's when I moved up to Edmonton last fall, and the YouTube thing was taken off a bit. I mean, pageant season was approaching. Siera was recording a lot of videos at the time, and then I kind of would like overhear stuff she was talking about, and then felt like I wanted to add my 2 cents in, so I would be part of a video for like maybe just a little bit, but then just talking about it, verbalizing things, just made me kind of care more and be more invested. And then decided that we wanted to go to Miss Universe last year, the 2019 edition, and just being there and being around it, being around the girls in Atlanta was just like amazing. And the competition itself, I would argue, was underwhelming. I mean, the production and stuff, I mean, it was in like a sound stage in Atlanta, which was like kind of crappy, so it wasn't like totally maybe the best Miss Universe experience, but I loved it. and so yeah, here we are. Now I'm sitting in front of a camera talking to you, and I care, I guess. So I mean, back in 2009, this is probably where I cared. And then as the years progressed, I suppose the arm just kind of cranked over, and now here I am. I know that sometimes it probably seems like I'm very monotone and very robotic in a sense, and like that maybe Siera is like forcing me to do this stuff, but no, man, I do it by choice. I'm not doing it because anybody's making me do it. Yeah, I'm feeling very nostalgic right now talking about all this, but it's good. It's weird. It's something that I obviously never thought that I would do. You know? And then one day you're not a pageant fan, and then the next day you're a pageant fan. And I guess I'm to the day where I'm a pageant fan. So that's that.